Hello everyone, I thought I'd do a little voiceover of this lesson today. I really enjoy watching voiceovers of lessons. I think they're really interesting and I like to see what the rider is thinking and why they're doing certain things with the horse. So this is a lesson on Casper, as you can see. This is our first attempt at halt of the lesson. You can see he really doesn't understand what I'm asking him. He's kind of taking a few tentative steps, doesn't really understand, and I'm trying to get him to halt with my seat, but I end up having to use quite a lot of rein. And here again, better, he kind of gets the idea, but he's fidgeting a little bit there, and I still have to use the rein more than I'd like. I like to try and get them to halt purely off my seat. So the answer to that is lots and lots of transitions. And here we are in our first trot of the lesson, quite on the forehand. He's quite sort of strung out and sort of just bumbling along, which is fine because it's our first trot of the lesson, so that's no problem. And we'll do lots and lots of transitions to try and improve that. Here's another halt transition, much better. He's already much better at those. Much more from my seat rather than my hands. He's sort of anticipating it as well, which is quite nice. And then I think this is another trot to halt. Yep, quite nice. And stands nice and square as well, which is nice. Good boy. You can see him here just starting to soften slightly. There was a slight issue with the saddle this lesson. It actually wasn't fitting him very well. I did mention it after the lesson and it has now been fit. You can see how it's moving around on his back there, which makes it much more difficult for him to soften. Since this lesson, it's much improved and he softens a lot better. Obviously, it's slightly annoying him in this lesson. It can't be nice to have a saddle that doesn't fit completely correctly. So he's not 100% comfortable, but at the same time he's still starting to relax a little bit there, which is nice to see. And up into our first canter of the lesson. I was actually really pleased with that transition. He sometimes struggles with his trot canters on both legs. He does a kind of little run into canter, but that was really nice, really off my leg, no little weird bit of trot. A little bit speedy. I'm trying to brace against him slightly with my body weight and doing a little circle there. You see he softens slightly, which is nice, and into a much nicer canter rhythm. And a pat, because that was really nice. And a big stretch. Casper is the stretchiest pony I have ever ridden. He loves a good stretch. And up into canter on the other rein. This is his weaker rein. He tends to fall in and look to the outside quite a lot on this rein, and it's actually a lot harder to sit in the canter as well and to sort of stay still. So again, just lots of circles in that rein to try and get him bending. Our attempt at a walk to canter there, not great, but much better than they used to be. He used to have absolutely no idea what I was asking, whereas now he actually sort of understands it, and he does a couple of strides of trot. You see there, he sort of rushes in his trot a little bit and then up into canter, and that was really good because that was on a straight rather than round a corner, which is much harder to ask for the correct bend. So he still got the correct leg, which was really nice. Bit of a rubbish canter, but still, you know, a nice enough transition. So again, a nice stretch for being such a good boy. Here we're doing just a little bit of light seat in the trot. Casper absolutely loves this. You saw just there, and you'll see again here, how he really stretches down when I do that light seat. There we go, really nice. I'd like to do more of that on him because he finds it really easy to stretch his back with that. And now on to jumping. Starting, just trotting into a little cross pole. It's quite a tight turn. That was the exercise. It was coming round to the cross pole on a tight turn. Quite hard on Casper, especially on this rein. Again, this is his bad rein in the canter, so I was really pleased with that because he did look round the corner and he did sort of bend his body a little bit. And again there, bit of a long one, but I ask for it and he obliges, which is good. He's starting to get much more adjustable in his striding, which is really good. And then straight back round, up into the canter. Not a bad transition, not too good, but not too bad. And round again, much better line this time, and better striding, and he just pops that really nicely. And cantering away. And a pat. Good boy. And now we've come out into the jumping paddock. This is our first jump out here. Really nice, taking me straight into it, ears pricked, looking happy. Canters in, canters away. And now here down the bottom, a little bit of a dodgy stride into that, but he's fine. He tries to nap back to the others here a little bit, so I just keep him trotting on for a tiny bit more, just so he knows that he can't go back to his friends whenever he wants. And another stretch. Here, really weak canter. You can see there he gets a dodgy stride into that, and then we come around to the next one. But he did change his leg over that fence, so I'm really pleased about that. He realised he was going to land on the wrong leg and changed it, and we trot away from that because there just wasn't enough impulsion, which is my fault. That's the rider's job. And up here over the skinny, unfortunately you can't see it because my mum is in the way. Thanks, Mum and Zuby. But really nice over that. He doesn't get bothered by skinnies at all. Very dodgy jump over that, bad striding, and the same with the skinny. Really, really dodgy striding. Gets just a bad takeoff, but he does it anyway. He could have stopped, he could have tried running out, which he might have used to do, but actually he was fine over that, and I'm pleased he's trying to work out how to use his legs, although he has lost a tiny bit of confidence. You see here he didn't want to canter in, he just decided to trot and ended up doing a 1 stride in a 2 stride double, so well done, Casper. Nice over the first. Here I just lose concentration, so does he. He crosses his jaw, runs out to the side. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do when he crosses his jaw like that. He just takes the bit and I can't really take it back from him, but that was rider error. That was just me not concentrating, as per usual. And I just make him walk back past it, just so he takes a second to relax and compose himself. I don't want him trotting away from the things that scare him. I want him to just take a look at it. Everything's fine. A little bit of a wiggle back into it, but he jumps it really nicely. And then we come straight back round and do the 2 again. You see him here. Nice over the first, and then ears pricked, looking for the second. He's actually taking me into it this time, and that was really, really nice. He gets a big pat for this. I was really pleased with the way that went, considering he was looking at it before. He just jumped that beautifully, and it was a really nice way to end the lesson. So thank you for watching. I hope that was interesting. I hope you can see why I do certain things on Casper, and improvements that have been made and improvements that still need to be made, both with him and me. Obviously I am a riding school rider. I only ride once a week. I'm not the best in the world, but I'm trying my best. And so is Casper, and that was a really good lesson and I was really pleased with him.